Hello and welcome to my world of crochet. My name is Stine and today I'm here with you for another yarn talk video. And as always, we can't chit chat about yarn without me having my faithful mug of tea. And today this tea contains a loose tea blend from a local tea shop here in the neighboring city, and it's named a Fleur. That's the Dutch word for dream flight. And it is a loose black tea with saffron, sunflower petals and cornflower petals and some strawberry leaves dried up. And yeah, it's just this sort of sweet, yet not super sweet. And it does have this slightly ever so rich taste of saffron. Yeah. And when I taste it, I am being, yes, Dream Flight seems a really good name for this tea. Yeah, absolutely. For those curious, here's a little look at the tea in the bag. Good. We aren't ready to talk about tea, even though I know many of you do enjoy hearing about all the sorts of lovely teas that I do have here. Though often I do end up reverting to some of the same teas, and this Dream Flight tea is really, really nice. Not the last time I'm buying that one, that's 100% for sure. I've had time to crochet since last time, of course. Been busy at work. A lot of things are being settled right now, but also I only have 5 weeks left, which means in about 5 weeks time, when I'm sitting here with your yarn talk video, I am on vacation, and I will be on vacation until my very last day, which basically means that I have no work left, and that's gonna in some intent be good. I do look forward to working less, or at least to do something else. I think that's fair to say. It's time for a new adventure. I'm not sure what that adventure will be yet, and until I have decided what that adventure will be, I may end up making some more content for crocheting. Since last time, I did progress on my Fleur Mosaic blanket, and this Fleur Mosaic blanket, I am now at round 40 of 129. Not going very quickly, I know, but things takes time, and I'm absolutely fine with it, because right now I'm in a pace where I'm not sure if I can complete full rounds. It could also be a quarter or half or 3/4, because I work them on the sides and they do take increasingly longer time to crochet, because every round, every side gets increased by 2. So eventually it just takes too much to sit down and do just quickly to have something ripped up. Unless I only focus on this and leave some of my other whips in the back burner. But that said, I actually progressed on all of my whips this week. That might not always be the case. Everything is going to depend on basically time and availability, and a little bit about the mood. And we were talking the other day, well, not even the other day, last night, with some other crafters about how many whips they have. I know, for example, my mom, she prefers only have 1, maybe 2 whips going on. She prefers finishing the projects and then start anew. I like having a few to pick and choose between depending on my mood. And then there are others who just have a bunch. Either some are waiting until they get more yarn, and others, I guess, just get so far into another project that they desperately want to make that they forget about the old ones. There's many ways of doing this, I guess, and there's many ways of sorting it. I'm trying to intentionally devote time to my projects, and to projects which I'm slowly wanting to get done, like really want to prioritize. I'm saying, like, you know, half an hour every day or X rows or whatever, because depending on the project, you can say rows. And sometimes it's just saying, okay, I really need to work half an hour on this every day, because obviously then you devote time to projects that might have lost your interest a bit. I don't know how many WIPs do you have and how do you prioritize them? Let's talk about that. Comments down below. Yeah, so the Fleur is how it's looking here at round 40. Last round was in all this cream white. Next round, again, is gonna be in this Bordeaux red. Funnily enough, I have the feeling that it almost shows more dark on the screen, but if I do go a bit closer, you can see it is red, Bordeaux red. In a few rows, we're going to change color here on the background color. That would be the dark colors. The foreground color here, the cream white, will remain throughout the whole project. I am using the Stylecraft Special DK yarn, and this would be, now you have center, and there it's symmetrical. I'm using the Stylecraft Special DK. This is how much I have left of the first skeins. Having a little note where I keep track of the rounds I've done. 4mm crochet hook. Here we have the yarn. Stylecraft Special DK double knit. Actually, it's a double knit special yarn. It's 100% premium acrylic. And I see that would make it easier for me to read. 295 meters, which is about 322 yards for 3.5 ounces or 100 grams. As said, anti-pilling. Works with most DK knit patterns. It can actually be tumble dried when it's cold. So at a cold temperature, it can be ironed cold, it can be dry cleaned, and you're allowed to machine wash it by 30 degrees Celsius. Yeah, cream and burgundy is the colors here that I'm currently working with. And the challenge is, of course, this project is slowly growing out of the project crate. I have this crate where I try to keep track of things, but eventually the blanket won't be able to fold as easy down here because it will be way bigger than this crate. And then, you know, I'll figure something out when we get there, but it's a headache for another day. Pleased with how the progress is on the Fleur. And Fleur is designed by Anke Wintermans. Anke Wintermans is a Dutch designer of mosaic patterns, both in the round and back and forth. You mainly also overlay, I believe, the overlay type of doing it. You can find her patterns on Ravelry. I've linked to the Fleur pattern down below, should you be interested in buying it. She makes gorgeous work, I have to say it. So if you're interested in making a mosaic pattern and you're looking for inspiration, check out. Then in, I believe, back in February maybe, I held a poll about what project to make next. And here, the main suggestion was the Firefly Sweater, which is a free hobby pattern. Again, all my patterns that I am having, if I have a specific pattern, I'll link to the description box down below, either where you can freely download them or where you can purchase them. The Firefly is a free pattern from Hobby. They use the Hobby Diablo yarns, but I found a similar yarn. I tested it, I blocked it, I found the size that was fitting for me based on the pattern. But that said, right now it's clear to me that I'm more taking inspiration from the pattern than I'm actually using the pattern. Because I've made it longer, I'm using different yarns, etc, etc. But that's fine. Maybe I'll like it in the end, I hope. I like the colors and how it works out right now. But will I like the actual fit when I'm done? It's gonna be a bit boxy, I think, but we'll see. This is a front piece panel. And I'm working on the back piece panel, and it's two yarns that I hold together, which is the Soft Sensation, which is a Lamy yarns. So that's a Dutch yarn brand. 100% synthetical fiber, so it's acrylic polyamide blend. But they do look like kid silks or mohair yarns. Lovely, lovely thin, soft, also very soft. So this is the whole front panel that I've made here, as you can see. And the back panel I am working on. I do this on my weekly morning lives. Every week Wednesday, unless anything else comes in the way, I go live with you guys for my weekly morning tea, and I'm doing that with this, and I'm missing 2 rows, and once I'm done 2 rows, this is the back panel. The back panel is complete, and then I have to look into the arms. So on Wednesday, my friends, I'm hoping that we are going to finish this back panel, and then we will have to have a look at how I'm going to proceed with arms. Well, we may not have a look together on Wednesday, but I will have to have a look at how I proceed so that I can be ready with starting the arms for the following morning live. Those morning lives are, unfortunately, obviously, for some of you especially, I know that a lot of my viewers are in the US, and for you that is unfortunately in the middle of the night. Currently I have to do those mornings because that is where I do have the opportunity and the time to do so currently. That might change in 6 weeks time. Well, 5 to 6 weeks time. Definitely, there might change a few things up on this channel based on time and availability I have. So there's that. And if you haven't done yet, don't forget to hit the subscribe if you aren't subscribed yet, and the like if you do like yarn talks, talking about yarns, crochet, etc. Because that really supports me ongoing, and I do need your support, given the fact that I'm soon going to be unemployed. And it also just tells me if you enjoy watching what I'm doing, the content I make. After that, I started on a new couch project. I need a new couch project, and I chose the Airkor Shawl. The Airkor Shawl is designed by K.A.M.E Crochet. She's a Hungarian designer. Plenty of designs. I do believe her patterns are also on Ravelry. You can also buy them on Hobby. They are usually paid patterns. I bought this back last year when I made a Christmas scarf. The Christmas scarf in the Hobby Universe Christmas jars. Gorgeous. That turned out so gorgeous. And they are actually small like Christmas trees in the pattern, and therefore I decided, hey, I actually have the perfect yarn to make a non-Christmas scarf of this pattern. And here I am starting it. And why is it a good couch project or a good car project? Well, it is because this pattern is only a 6-row repeat. What's not to like? Yeah, I use a 3.5mm crochet hook for this pattern, and I have progressed. This is what I have left of the cake. As you can see, we are going into the more darker greens, olive greens. And I'm just trying to untangle it a bit here, because this is what we have so far, and it's probably going to be like double the length still. I can't even have it all in the screen, or barely, if I like lean all the way back. What's really nice, and you can actually see it if I try to hold it up here or against me, that's better because that's a darker background. You can see the trees. They will show nicer once this is blocked. This will need blocking. And once that's blocked, it will show up so much nicer. And the thought is, because the trunk of the tree, obviously is the bottom, and the yarn starts with this brown outer edge, that's a trunk, and it goes up to the top. And that fits with how these trees are put together. But it goes more and more green the closer that we get to the top. That was the thought of it. I absolutely adore this. Gorgeous. And it's simple and easy to work with. So I can even do it for some meetings if I don't need per se to have a camera on. It's just a good project, actually. For a movie, even. Yeah, it's gorgeous. Thin yarns. It's the yarn I'm using is the Rosegarden. So the YarnArt Rosegarden, which is 100% cotton. Very, very similar, if not the same yarn as the Hobby Cotton Kings Sultan Deluxe. This is also just gorgeous to work with. Trust me, it's absolutely gorgeous to work with. So that's progressing well. I did, since last time, probably like this. Usually I tend to do a color or two, though the time before I had, because that was 2 weeks since, I had a bit more done. Also because I did crochet on this in the car, on my way to vacation. On my way back from vacation, I also did some at the vacation. So there isn't a generally amount planned for this shawl, how much I'm to reach. But since it is my couch project, it is my project for so many other things, where I just need a mindless project, a bit more mindless project. This is, it's just being crocheted on when I feel like it, and when I can do, you know, that's a benefit of TV. Like if you have an easily mindless project, you don't need to look at it all the time, and you can still watch the TV and be interactive. It's a gorgeous project. There isn't much more to say about it. I really enjoy this project. And we have 2 more projects to talk about. Yeah, we do. And also, before we start talking about those, I have been really good at not buying yarns lately. This year, actually, in general. But I have officially failed. In end of June to beginning of July, Pleta had this awesome sale where they had 24% discount in connection with the European Championships on football, soccer. And I made an order, but I was I was going to have to make an order eventually, because I was needing some yarns for another project I want to make. And they also had launched a new yarn, the Candy Royals. So I ended up caving in and buying some yarns. That yarn haul is going to be on this channel on Monday. Stay tuned for that one. Yeah. I have also progressed on the Thoughts of Ireland shawl, which is 100% alpaca yarn that I'm using here. It is a drops yarn, so it's the drops alpaca, and it is also a drops free pattern, and I've linked to the pattern down below. But please be warned ahead, you need to be able to read diagrams to be able to do this pattern. Trust me, that helps. I have just finished all of the diagram 3s now, and I thought I had done that 2 weeks ago. I have not. And here we ended up having to go through the process again. I had to frog a bit, and I had to start working those diagrams, which is what I've done. I did the last 3 rows since the last week Friday, so it's not been a lot. But as you are aware, I do have plenty of projects to work on right now, which does not necessarily include this one. Well, also includes this, but yeah. The alpaca yarn that I'm using, 50 gram skeins to 167 meters. So that's 1.75 ounces to like 180-ish yards, roughly. Maybe 875 yards, but still. Here is where we are at. I have a stitch marker there in the center. Did have some stitch markers here to help me catch the amount of repeats I've done on A3. So that was to help me, but here we are. I should have done them all, and I can process with A4 and then count if that all adds up. But yeah, it's starting to look like something here for sure. It's a nice yarn. It's quite soft. I will need to block this because I have the feeling it wrinkles a bit. So yeah, I will need to be blocking this one. It's wool, so I'll need some wool detergent. I might have to have a good look at the supermarkets, and if they don't have the right ones, I'll just probably order some, or maybe use some points at the hobby point store. I know they do have wool detergents in that, even though it's just a single portion. But it could be that I can just find some in the local supermarket that will work fine for this. Yeah, so looking forward to process on that, and I'm happy. It's a colorway Olive. It's 100% alpaca yarn. As you can see, it's slightly ever so heathered. Sometimes it's slightly ever so more yellow in the colors here. And yeah, it's just, it's soft. And you need to be able to handle animal fibers, obviously, to handle this one. And once I'm done with this project, we will find a new drops project for me to start on, to wrap my head around. Because what is it about the drops patterns? They are not always amazingly written, so they can be a challenge to read and understand and to work up. But yeah, so that's how we're going here. I need to have a good look at diagram 4, and I need to do a few rows of that, and then to get somewhere where I can again just chunk out the rounds. Right now that was those 3 repeats. So what the mistake I've done was that I had done the pattern for a number 3, but I had forgotten to read the part saying complete the last 4 rounds of pattern 3 another 3 times. So obviously I had a lot less than I needed. So I frogged and prepared for that, and that's where we are at now. And when you know 1 or 2 row repeat, this was a 2 row repeat, it's reasonably easy also to make without reading at the pattern 24/7. And I hope we get to another place in this pattern again where that can be done, and I think we will. We are just not there yet, because I will just need to finish row A4, which is slightly also different, and then I need to insert some stitch markers and need to watch, because we have places where we need to increase. So far this pattern, if you read and understand diagrams, is reasonably simple to follow. I've not been frustrated yet as I've been with, for example, the Oasis cardigan. So far it works for me, I would say. No, that one I've had. We only have one project left to discuss. Hey, it's amazing how time flies. For the alpaca yarn, I'm using the 3.25mm crochet hook, so it is a smaller hook size. Most of my projects, as you might have noticed, I do use smaller crochet hooks. Somehow I just prefer to work with the thinner yarns. But I do have some projects where I do hook size up a bit, in the sense of because the yarn is thicker. And this last project that we're going to talk about is actually one of those examples. And yet it's not too big of a hook size I've done up, because it's still a 5mm hook. But for me, compared to mainly using like 3 to 4mm, a 5, that goes quicker. Sad but true. And based on that, I can understand people who prefer using a bigger crochet hook, because it just does feel that the process overall goes faster. And I do have a few other projects in mind where we'll need some bigger hooks. I do have some scrap yarns I think could be amazing worked up together for hats. I also have another yarn that I'd like to make hats with, but they definitely require probably a 5mm hook. Yeah. So the next project that we're going to talk about, where I am using this 5mm H hook, is the summer shopper bag. And I finished all the crossed double crochet rows. And now we're basically, well, I'm going to show you it top up. So this is a bottom, and this would be the sides. And now I am reached so far that I need to make a round of half double crochets, and then I think it's a round of single crochets, and then we are to start adding the straps. So this, my friends, is actually getting reasonably close to being finished. I know, hard to believe actually. This is how it looks. I want to turn the other way. And this is a yarn I'm using. This yarn is a yarn that I did not buy. Well, that sounds wrong. I did buy it because this is a yarn that was in a person's stash that they were de-stashing on Facebook. I did buy the stash for another yarn, not for this. And this was like a side edition. It's not a yarn that I'm not sure if I would normally buy. Now when I've worked with it and I'm thinking it's actually gonna be awesome for bags, I could consider buying it exactly for this purpose. It is like, oh, what do you call it? It's a budget-friendly yarn in the sense of it's a cheaper yarn. Value yarn. There we are. That was the word I was looking for. It's a value cotton yarn. It's 100% cotton. It is, when they are full, they are 100 grams skein, so 3.5 ounces to 150 meters. So that's like what, 160 some odd yards. Using a 5mm crochet hook, and that is basically what's made me work up this. And I think it's an amazing color. I absolutely do. And I really like how this crossed double crochet has worked out. It is absolutely gorgeous. There's a few smaller holes in it, but I absolutely adore how it works out. And the bottom here is also half doubles, so some of it does come back in the pattern. I'm really enjoying this. I could imagine making this in multiple colors as well, and make it sort of gradient. That could also work out really, really nice, I think. Or make sections different colors and whatnot. But so far I've really enjoyed working on this. I think you can also make it bigger or smaller depending on your needs. If that's a big if here, if I have enough yarn in this ball to finish this whole bag, then I have another 3 balls and I could technically make another bag of this, and that might actually tempt me to do. And then, yeah, I might be tempted to actually do it because I'm not else sure what to use these yarns for. But they seem to be really perfect for making bags. And this is actually my first official bag, if we don't include the pouch that I made last year, where I double layered some 8/4 cottons. And that is actually the pouch today I still have. Just a moment, because it is somewhere here behind. Oh, I still have it. That's the closest I've made to a bag. It contains my tools for crochet, so I can like zip it. I can take it with me. It's like a pencil case, but more like an oval one. Yeah, I'm actually quite happy I made this, and that's made in like you make single crochet and then you do actually a longer single crochet around like the previous stitch of the previous round, and you alternate that, and that's kind of how you get the pattern on this one. So I made this one last year and I finished it a bit more than a year ago. I think I finished it in June maybe. I hand sew the insides and added the zipper and then sew it into this piece of bag. Yeah, but yeah, I'm actually enjoying this. I like how it's looking right now, and I'm curious if I can, with 3 balls of yarn, finish it up. Definitely something that's going to be nice if possible. And it's like a sandy gray color. It's not bad. It is also summer friendly, these colors, but you can also use them all year round. One strapped, but yeah, hopefully we are closer to finish next time, and I'm reasonably motivated on this one, so I might be closer to finish than I believe. That is, if I do get the time for it. So this might take priority just because I can see the finish in the end, and that's when I'm getting closer to finish. So that's a funny thing when I'm working on projects. In the beginning of a new project, I'm all eager and keen, and in the very end, when the project really gets closer to the end, I can also get very eager and keen to get them done. But sometimes in the middle, if it feels like it takes forever until I get there, then I sometimes aren't always too motivated to make them, and that's when I really need to set in, okay, Stina, you have to spend time doing them because you started them, and we aren't gonna I don't want to leave unfinished objects, UFOs, laying around, or work in progress, or whatever we should call them. I don't want to forget projects. I do want to eventually finish them and then just like close the chapter. And that's why I'm keen to often work more on it when the time is available for it. It's funny because this is the outside of the cross double crochet, and when I'm looking on the inside, it looks like much more airy. And I really like the outside view of it much more. But the inside, I'm not going to use that much actually, because outside is what you're going to be viewing. Yeah, I think that was it for this week's yarn talk video together here with my tea. I thank you so much. I do hope that you gave me a thumbs up and you liked this video. Thank you for watching all the way until here. I do very much appreciate you, as well as I appreciate all of the members I do have on this channel. Let me know if there's anything you want. I can also tell you that the coming weeks I am working on flipping or mirroring some of my tutorial videos so that they will be available for left-handed users, and that I onwards, when I do post tutorials, will post both right and left-handed tutorials. So stay tuned for that. And that is basically to accommodate for people that is crocheting left-handed. I do get that this looks differently. I can work, actually, I am multi-skilled. I can actually work with both hands, but I do have preference for right. And therefore, I'm not gonna double record the videos. Actually, I can just flip them around in the creator that I have. And that is what I'm going to be doing. For you, it's not going to make much difference. Some of the reading text might read a bit funky. So that's why I need a little bit work on them to ensure that when we get, like in the beginning, it's going to be one version, so to say, the original version. And then when you get to the actual instruction parts, you can see the crochet hook flips from my right hand to my left hand. And that should theoretically work. And I hope that will help our left-handed crochet community. But first up, on Monday, we have a Platter Yarn haul, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. I can tell you I got lovely discounts on all those cakes in there. It was a heaven, and I couldn't leave a sale like that. Simply, I couldn't. Looking forward to start on some of the projects that I've planned for those yarns, but let's not try to have 100 whips ongoing. Better just do a couple at a time and have focus that they will also get finished eventually. So what I'm gonna say for now is take care and happy crafting until I see you again, and yeah, that will be next week.